Hello everyone, this is Kiki, and today I'm here in Cologne with POLARIS.
Hi. How are we doing?
Oh, thank you so much for being here, for your time, and for sharing a moment with me, with us, with the Bleeding Metal podcast. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit? We introduce ourselves with pronouns as well in the podcast. So I'm Kiki, she, her, and you can go ahead.
I'm Jamie, he, him. Hi.
I'm Daniel, I'm also he, him.
And yeah, we're from POLARIS. Vocals.
Drums.
This one smacks the toms.
I do.
Smacks the tubs.
And the snare. And
sometimes the snare.
some cymbals here and there. Yeah. This guy hits a B, sometimes an A.
Maybe a C sharp. On a good day, a C sharp.
On his day.
You're already having so much fun today on a Friday. This is the first of two. Yes, it's Friday today. It's the first of two sold out nights here in Cologne, and just the second date of this amazing tour you have going with Landmarks and BEARTOOTH. When did you arrive in Germany or in Europe?
3 days ago.
Yes.
Yeah, three days ago. We got here, bit jet lagged. We just came off a headline run over in America, and we got home for 4 days, and then flew over here, had a day off, rehearsal day, and then show one, which was yesterday.
You posted some footage from your rehearsal room in Würzburg. Is that something you do every time, every tour?
As of recently, yeah. I think it was about a year and a bit ago we did that for the first time. And it's just become like a little bit of a hub for us because we usually fly into Frankfurt. We store a bunch of gear at a facility in Würzburg. We know that area really well now.
Yeah.
There's a pub we always go to, a beer house we go to.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's just become a really good way to start a tour. We have all our stuff there. It's very familiar. We know exactly what it's going to feel like. There's a laundry and a shower in the facility where we rehearse and stuff. So it's very comforting to start off a tour.
Yeah, it's a pretty good way to get things going. Familiar surroundings. There's like shops where we know if we need to buy anything in preparation for the tour, we know exactly where to get it from.
We know where the best kebab is. That's important.
Yes, the best doi.
Yeah,
the best doi.
Yeah, that's important.
There's good doi around here. We got to hit the...
Where's his doi town?
Yeah, we got to hit the original doi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask, what are your favorite things in Europe or in Germany specifically?
Beer.
Ooh.
German beer is bloody fantastic.
But, pork knuckle.
Yes.
Yeah. When we're in Würzburg, there's down by the water, there's this beer house we go to, and every time we've gone there, I've had the pork knuckle and the potato dumplings and the gravy. It's insane. I don't know if I've ever finished it, but
the thing is as big as your head. Freaking massive.
Yeah. Aside from that, I'd just say the quality of the shows over here. Oh, and the catering at the shows.
Yes.
That's the best part, is that the German hospitality is second to none. It's just, we played 2 shows and both days we've walked in and there's been like bacon and eggs ready in the mornings, and that is just like delightful. Like,
nice.
It's hard to have a bad time on a tour like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What about the German crowds though? We have a bit of a... Really?
Yeah. Like, years... You guys have to back yourself. Like.
I think I know, but I think we have a bit of a reputation for not being like super hype right from the beginning.
No, not really.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, ever since we've come over to this side of the world, Germany has been one of our favorite places to play next to home, really. And I'd say London in particular as well has very much felt like similar to home. But Germany in particular, the crowds are always wild. They're always loud. They're energetic. It's anywhere in Germany, it's going to be a good show. Or at least like for us over the years, we're rolling it. We played a show here last year with While She Sleeps, and it was an absolute wild show. So I'm already high expectations just from that, like in the same venue. But Cologne, we've played Cologne many times, and it's always been a fantastic show.
I don't think we've ever had a disappointing show in Cologne. Yeah. And the last time we were here was incredible. We've got another one tomorrow night. They're both sold out. I think it's going to be insane. And if yesterday is anything to go off, that was an insane crowd last night. I couldn't believe how pumped they were right from the start. Watching Landmarks, even watching Landmarks go on before us, I was intimidated. I was like, there's no way they're going to sing this loud for us. These sing-alongs are crazy.
Makes us feel like we're going to pull our socks up and we're going to put in some fucking work tonight.
Those guys absolutely rip. So it's really cool to watch a band before you and be like, all right, we have to get up there and put on a show because these guys are so fucking good. Yeah. But they were incredible for all 3 bands. It's like the quality of the crowd was so good. It's like, you could have believed you were watching a crowd for any one of these bands headlining. You know what I mean? Like the energy was just that good.
The crowd has been on fire from like, at least last night it was. Yeah.
I think the combination of like us, I'm talking. I'm terrible at that as well. Yeah, the combination of us, Landmarks and BEARTOOTH together is, I think, like, it just works really well. There's like enough parallel in the sound.
Yeah.
There's certain commonalities, but there's also a variety there. Like each band kind of has their distinct sound, and But the good thing is that we're all really high energy bands with big sing-alongs and big mosh parts and riffs. And if that's what you're into, that's a full night of that shit, man. Yeah.
What do you then bring to the table in terms of this lineup?
Jamie brings good looks.
Yes.
Stop. Stop it. I guess you could say we're probably a little bit of the outlier between BEARTOOTH and Landmarks, like a bit more traditional kind of metalcore.
I suppose, yeah.
Metalcore is such a wide genre. Mm-hmm. Everyone has riffs on this tour. Everyone has breakdowns on this tour. It's hard to determine like what.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in some ways, I'd say of the three bands, we're probably doing the most like show-offy riffs and stuff like that, like real flying fingers kind of stuff.
Yeah,
we make it really difficult for ourselves, which is like. But yeah, this is a whole tour of like, really killer musicians and stuff like that who all have their own style as well. Yeah.
It is an absolutely fire lineup, and I'm super hyped to see you all three bands tonight. And talking about your sound, how do you keep true to yourselves and to your own style while also innovating in this ever-changing metalcore scene?
We've only ever written for ourselves, really, especially as time has gone on and the albums, we've got more albums under our belt. We keep in mind like what moments in the set like the fans lose their minds to or this or that, but like when it comes to writing, we still pretty very much write for ourselves. Write what music that we like, that we think sounds sick, because if we don't think it sounds sick, who else is going to think it sounds sick? Like,
I think retaining our sound comes from doing what we love. Yeah. I think that's the main thing, and that continues to evolve. But at the end of the day, like we know better than anyone what our band's identity is, and if all five of us think it's sick, then that's Polaris. That's like the way. And I think the cool thing is, I think our fans they're excited to grow with us as well as every time we expand the sides of our sound a little bit and push the envelope on one side, whether it's writing a softer ballad or writing something that's borderlining on really heavy and like death metal influence and stuff. And as we do that, some people might react a little negatively at first, but then as soon as we get up there at a show, we realize that the variety in the set is what kind of carries it. And none of someone on the internet saying they don't like the fact that you went too far in this direction or that direction, that doesn't fucking matter when you're on a stage in front of a bunch of people singing. Like that, suddenly you realize that's all that really counts. And I think when people see something, I think that's something that fans is really good for fans to keep in mind. It's something I've learned over the years as well, is like when one of my favorite bands writes something that makes me go, oh, I'm not sure about that. I always try to reserve judgment until I see it live. And sometimes the song that I just thought was not really landing for me, I'll stand in the room and just go, oh, I get it now. Like I think heavy music is something that has to be experienced live to make sense in a lot of ways. That's where it really reaches its potential. And we write for that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Does the concept of the lyrics as well inspire the music or the other way around? How does the songwriting work for you?
Yeah, most of the time it's been almost like music before fully worked out lyrics.
It's getting to the stage now where it's like, in the early days, it was definitely like very much all write a complete song instrumentally for the most part and then start writing vocals over it. But I think as time's gone on, I've been able to say, bring in some vocal ideas first and show them to you and show them to the boys and then have
this in mind, like what see musically happening behind the lyrics that you've written.
Honestly, the only real way to answer it is that it's entirely dependent on what idea you get first. It's if there's a vocal idea to start with, we'll write music under it. Based on what we're trying to say and what emotion we're trying to convey. If there's a riff, then we'll figure out what words and melodies go over it best. I think that's what kind of keeps it interesting as well is like across, especially our last couple of records. Yeah, I think that was something that even going back to the Guilt and the Grief EP was when I started figuring out how to do that, was like some vocals first and get the boys to construct a riff under it. But there's always a few songs written like that and a few songs that are written from the instrumental point of view first. I started using the term recently, top-down writing or bottom-up writing, like writing from the vocals first and figuring it out down, or writing the foundation, like bottom-up, writing the foundation of instrumental stuff and then working on the vocal stuff last. But I think either one can lead to a great song. And I think people would probably be surprised by which songs were written in that format, and it's not, you can't always tell.
Right. And talking about the emotions, now that you mentioned them, how much is personal experience, current personal experience, and how much is universal concepts that you're writing about, a little more distanced?
A lot of, like for me, like with Daniel being our main lyricist, like he'll come to us with the angle of where the song is coming from, and a lot of the time I can relate to that, or if I can't, I can relate it to something similar that I've experienced where I can bring that emotion so that I can portray that myself. Like a lot of it is shared across like between like you, me and Jake and like the rest of the guys.
I mean, we've been through so much stuff together. It's anything that I'm experiencing and writing about is usually something that we've gone through to some extent together or watched each other go through. And then that becomes a collective experience anyway. Outside of that, though, there are some songs where I'm more maybe imagining a narrative or a scenario that makes me feel a certain way and drawing from that. It's a bit of a mix, but like in a lot of ways, like it's always personal in some way to some extent. But you can do a lot by putting yourself in other people's shoes too, and by using your personal experiences to relate to, like to extrapolate on something and extrapolate on an imagined experience. I mean, at the end of the day, we're always telling stories, and some of them might be more based on more specific reality, and some of them we're really allowing ourselves to expand and just feel something and hope that other people relate to it. I think a lot of the time people don't necessarily always know exactly where the origin of the song is coming from, but I love that people can take it in a certain way. Like those conversations that you and I have had with fans outside shows and what a song means to them are like so rewarding. I mean,
How important is that to make this personal emotional connection? And also maybe in the day-to-day band life, how open are you with each other about emotions and whatever you're going through?
The first point on like with our fans, I think it's very special and that our fans feel that they have this safe space to approach us in such a open and raw way. Like I won't go into detail, but sometimes fans come, you've never met them, they come straight up to you and they're opening up with the most raw shit that they've gone through in their lives. And like, whoa, but I love that they feel comfortable to approach us in that way, that we've provided this, I don't know,
comfort. And,
that they feel that they can come up to us and like, talk to us about their lives and what our music has helped them through and that. But also in shared experiences, we're pretty open with all of our personal lives. We're very supportive of each other. We're like Dan was saying before.
It's rare that any of us is going through something without the others being very aware of it.
Yeah, or there to help or to guide or something in some way.
We're such a big part of each other's support. And you have to be when you spend as much time together as we do. There have been multiple years where we've spent significantly more time with each other than with like our own partners or wives and stuff like that, or in our own families. Like it can really get like that. And it's like, you have to be able to lean on the people around you. You have to be able to open up. You have to be able to trust them. Like, I think without that trust, our band never could have been here. Yeah. Certainly not.
I think we had that trust pretty early on as well. Yeah. I think back, like since day one, I think we've all been pretty open with each other, and that's only just gotten more and more as time went on in the early days, and, brought us to where we are now. Like, we're just a big old family. Yeah.
What you were saying before about like people being so like open and vulnerable, and and it can be confronting, but it's really beautiful as well. And sometimes in those moments, I find myself going, like, wow, this person I've never met is revealing so much of themselves to me. And then I go, I'm forgetting that I've revealed so
doing that.
Yeah. You sometimes forget just how much of yourself you've put out there. And then you think back on your lyrics and being like, wow, people really have had a really strange insight into our lives and our thought processes and stuff. It's, you can almost forget about it sometimes. Be like, oh, I've been being an open book for a long time. And it's nice to feel safe to do that. I think heavy music particularly has always made us feel safe to express those sides of ourselves. Something very uniquely special about, I think, this kind of world of music that we're in.
Yeah.
And that is something I think is really important. For us in the podcast, it's been always really important to talk about mental health and also feminism. And part of feminism is also to make the world a safe enough space for men and male-presenting people to be able to share and express pain and all of that stuff. I think it's also important for bands and artists like you who have a bit of a platform to use that role model function and spread those kinds of messages.
What you just said there is so important as well. I think there's so many men out there who don't realize how important feminism actually is for them. And I'm sure some people will hate that I just said that. I'm sure someone's going to get angry at us on the internet.
Can't please everyone.
No, I think like when it comes to like our values and stuff, like, I think we all come from a place of, really embracing like a lot of feminist ideals and stuff like that. We've all grown up with all these amazing women in our lives, and we work with amazing women in the industry, and we've had all these experiences that we couldn't be as vulnerable as we are with people if we were so caught up in like some of these masculine ideals surrounding emotions and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's, like I said, some people will hate this, but men need feminism.
Yes, absolutely. Feminism is for everyone.
Yeah.
Are there any other causes that you are passionate about?
Man, it's weird. Like, we don't tend to get too
political.
Publicly too political. Yeah. Right now, I have a lot of empathy for everyone involved in the situation in the Middle East. But personally, where I stand, I'm definitely in support of a free Palestine. I'm happy to personally say that, speak on anyone else's behalf. And I say that with love for anyone on either side of that conflict. With love and empathy on either side of that conflict. I really do.
Beautiful. Now you are on this tour, spreading also the word about Fatalism, your latest album. Is there a specific song you like the most personal, the one that means more to you?
In the set list or just from the album in general?
Yes.
I'm not sure. I feel the way that things have panned out, I feel Overflow is a pretty special song in the set that we play. Like, we dedicate it to our late guitarist Ryan, and I guess that one's holds a bit more weight than a lot of others on the album, just from how we've portrayed, like how we've built our sets and chosen to have that as like a talking point towards him as well. But our favorite on the album that we haven't played live yet is Aftertouch. I think that's a really special song for us, and I'm very excited to one day play that live. I can't wait to honestly, but it's a very different song for us, and
that one's really special as well, because I think it was one that Ryan was like,
he was heavily involved with shaping that.
Yeah, he and I wrote that in a couple of days, but almost all the musical ideas in it, pretty much all of them were him. Yeah. And it shaped up really quickly, and it was just like one of those rare bolt of inspiration moments. Yeah. And I think it's one of those ones tend to come really well when you know you're doing something you haven't done before.
Yeah.
Because you can instantly see a vision of where it can go. And I think his, like, people really have always looked at him as a riff guy and a technical guy, but I think there's virtually no riffs in that song. In fact, I don't think there's really a riff at all. Yeah. There's just there's a breakdown, but that song's really about the layers and the building and stuff. And I think that song kind of showcases like his melodic and songwriting sensibilities more than anything, and ability to just write something that hits you emotionally, regardless of how impressive or technical it is. That song's all about the feeling.
Yeah.
With Regards is a favorite for me. That's not in the set list on that tour, but that one, I'm really proud of that song. And we're really liking playing All in Vain at the moment.
Yeah.
That's
it's almost been a surprise for ourselves, that song.
Yeah, that's become, we were like intimidated to start playing that because it's quite a tricky song, but now we're a lot more confident with playing it live, and we're opening the set on this tour with it. It's great. Yeah, we weren't sure how it would translate live, but it's turned out to be like a really dramatic and like exciting moment. And then once we started trying it out on our previous tour, then the conversation happened. Shout outs to Callum, our lighting director.
Cheers, Cal.
who really convinced us that this was going to be something special. And I think we've constructed a really cool set.
Yeah.
The opening with that. And it's something we haven't really done before. Yeah, we're having a lot of fun.
Awesome. And you will have a lot of fun tonight.
Oh, yes.
I sure hope so. Thank you very much for all of the amazing conversation
and
for your words.
Welcome. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
And to anyone who hasn't bought a ticket yet, trust me, you want to see this tour. BEARTOOTH are putting on a show you will never ever see again. It is fantastic.
It's one of the best rock shows I've seen in a very long time. Well, last night I think we came off stage and we were just like, I think we all just went back to school.
Yeah, like, we got fucking schooled hard on how to put on a show. It is phenomenal.
So inspiring, man. And they're such inspiring people as well. It's great to spend time around a band who is as fantastic as they are and is talented and puts on such an amazing show, so professional as well, but the most humble and down-to-earth people who have just made us feel so welcomed. And so we love everyone on this tour, man. It's just like it's just great to be surrounded by friends and people who just rip at what they do. Yeah.
Hell
the tour of killers. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know what to do. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Cheers.
I don't think I can. We're stuck here forever. There you go.